or pagan gold?
Pagan.
Me or Ruben?
Me.
Nicole or Ruben?
You didn't say that.
Time's up.
I was hired.
I'm so excited.
Are you?
So good to meet you.
Oh, well, take it easy now.
John Kosmoski, the founder of House of Kolor, started painting motorcycle tanks in his mom's basement 70 years ago, which honestly sounds like either the beginning of a legendary American business story or a small house fire.
Yep, painting helmets and gas tanks and stuff. Till Mom threw me out. The smell.
What did she think you were doing down there?
Well, she didn't mind any of it till the smell started coming upstairs and bothering her. And then I met a guy by the name of Frank Nicholas, and he was an artist and well known, by the way, as really a great artist. Airbrush, handwork, he did paintings and did a lot of car stuff too. I hooked up with him, and he had a friend that had a body shop, and I started renting space from him, and I wound up buying him out a few years later. So that was the beginning of it all.
I'm Nicole, and this is Know How TV, where every build has a story. This one took 70 years. I drove to the cities to sit down with the godfather of the custom paint world himself, in his own shop, in his own space, and that's when I realized that this wasn't just a story about a painter. It was an obsession, mistakes, sacrifice, legacy.
I tell the story about my first big lacquer job in the shop. It was 20 below zero outside, and back then I was driving a 57 Chevrolet Bel Air 4-door, and it was so cold, pulled it inside the shop, and I was painting in a little handmade booth, and I was all done painting. I cleaned everything up, and I got in my car, I opened the door, I backed out, and I drove home. I didn't turn off the lights, I didn't close the door. 20 below zero, everything was going the next morning when I came in. I was higher than a kite. Taluol. That's the one. That's the one. It's in the glue. The kids smeared in bags. It's the toluene that's what got you, because lacquer's full of it. I never ever painted anything without a respirator after that.
I'm sorry. He poisoned himself with toluene, left the shop wide open in 20 below weather, and went back painting the next morning. Now that is commitment.
Because as I said, I'm a futurist. I had a Chevrolet V8 engine in my 1940 coupe in 1956. That was the year that the Power Pack engine came out. And I had it in my car running down the street. I was the second Chevrolet V8 transplant in Minnesota. Wow. One guy beat me with a 55 Chevy V8 and a 33 Ford.
Kaz's wife, Patty, takes an art class. Sitting next to her was a polymer chemist, and that single moment changed custom paint forever.
That was a big part of it. Yeah, no, she's been a great trooper along this whole ride. In 65 years. 66 in September. Oh, love her to death. Oh, I got to show you her picture. So that's her at 57.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah. Alexander of the famous Alexander Brothers called me one day and he said, "John, we're not going to use your paint anymore." I said, "Why? What's wrong?" He said, "We painted a Cadillac candy apple red, and we came in the next morning and it was orange." I said, "That's impossible." He said, "I'm telling you it happened. I'm standing here, I'm looking at the car." I said, "Well, I'm on an airplane tomorrow. I'm coming to see you." Got on an airplane. He was running a division out of American Sunroof in Michigan, Detroit. So I got there. I said, "All right, show me what you do." So they had two guys suited up, pressure pot each guy. They go in and they start painting, and it's a lacquer. And they didn't come out. They just kept painting. I said, stop, get them out of there. I said, "You're not allowing dry time. I know what happened." I said, "You went home that night. All that solvent that was trapped with two guys with pressure pots started leaping out, and it pulled some of the red pigment and turned the clear orange." So I said, "Get a car ready. I'm going to paint it for you." So I went in there and painted it with a siphon feed, candied the car, and cleared it. And he said, "Well, let me take you to dinner." Took me to dinner. And he said, "Can we go back and look? I'm guaranteeing that thing is going to be orange when we get back to the shop." I said, "It's not going to be orange. Well, let's go back." Went back, and sure enough, the car was bright red, looked like it should. I said, you can't go in there with 2 guys in pressure pots. I don't like pressure pots, particularly with candies. It's hard to control them. I said, give dry time. Let it dry. It should not be sticky to the touch before the next coat.
Your sticky test.
That's right. And with urethane, it's stringing.
Right.
And never touch the same place twice because you're not going to get a true reading, you know? But that even changed with our new resins now. That's not a way to tell anymore because we've made so many changes.
And here's the crazy part. He's 88 years old, House of Color celebrating 70 years, and Kaz is still working on new colors. He's still testing them, he's still experimenting, he's still chasing the next big thing.
There's 16 new candies made with pigments. So we're able to take pigments that you never ever, well, if you've seen the new Mazda running around, whoever thought the factory would be doing factory candy jobs?
How do you decide what colors you want to come out with these new candy colors?
You just take a pigment and beat it up and try it and look at it. You just make that decision. It's beautiful or it isn't. Our mixing system allows you to do it. Matching the dyes with pigments, which means 20 times stronger. In a sun cabinet, if you can go 1,000 hours, that's equivalent to 5 years in the sun.
So I needed to know who I was dealing with. I made an 88-year-old paint legend play a game with me called 70 Years and 70 Seconds. I made it up. I told him no explaining, rapid fire only. Chrome or candy?
Candy.
Cars or bikes?
Both.
Wet sanding or a root canal?
Wet.
Matte or gloss?
Gloss.
Harley or Indian?
Both.
Good answer.
I got
Famous
both.
or respected?
Respected.
Flames or murals?
Flames.
SEMA or Detroit Autorama?
SEMA.
Perfect paint or perfect body lines?
Actually, I have to do both again on that because they go together.
You explained. Old school or new school?
New. I'm a futurist.
Candy apple red or pagan gold?
Pagan.
Von Dutch or nobody?
Dutch, my friend.
Metal flake or pearl?
Pearl.
Me or Ruben?
Me.
Nicole or Ruben?
You didn't say that.
Time's up. This is where the interview changed for me. Kaz wasn't just talking about paint anymore. He was talking about the culture back then. The secrets, the gatekeeping, the way people would rather watch you fail than help you learn.
In the days when I was competing, I never shared anything. Yeah, I'd lie to them. Like everybody lied to me when I tried to get started. That's how it worked. When I started making my own paint, I had no choice. I wanted to be successful, so I had to tell the truth.
Well, and you share that knowledge so freely to everybody.
Oh, yeah. Ask me. The only question that you have that you think is stupid is not, because there's no such thing as a stupid question. I'll answer it all.
That right there is why teaching became his legacy. He knew what it felt like to be lied to. So when it was his turn, he did the polar opposite. All right, what's one color that never should exist?
You know, the spectrum, the color spectrum, they all belong. In fact, I've had corporate a couple of times tell me, well, we're not selling this particular pearl. We're not selling that particular color. We don't want to. I says, you have to maintain the spectrum of color. One year we had a run on candy green. I mean, green doesn't sell much, you know, but all of a sudden we had a run on it. And so people saying, well, we don't sell much of that. We got to discontinue it. That's stupid thinking. You want to ride, bitch, man?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
I'm an artist myself, and I went to Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, University of Green Bay for some art courses. When somebody asks me what your favorite color is, I can't ever say.
Well, when they ask me that, and they do quite often, I always say the one I'm working with. You know, when you said pagan gold, apple red, my truck, my 58 that I first built way back when, I painted it pagan gold, and then I changed it to the chameleon in '96 when I introduced those. Everybody said I liked it in pagan gold better than I liked the chameleon. I said I know I was moving with the times. You want to live forever and do it all, but you haven't done it all. I mean, I built a lot of cars. I mean, from frame up thing, I do everything myself. I set up the brakes, I set up the suspension, I wire it, and then I hired a guy by the name of Denny Heapy. He could out-lead anybody I ever met. This kid was just a natural with lead work. But I mean, I went to Dunwoody and learned all that stuff too, but I couldn't do it as good as Denny. So I had a lot of good people working for me over the years, which helped a lot, you know. You're not doing it all yourself ever. From a painter's viewpoint, it's an art form, you know, to do a candy job anyway. But once they know the basics, You know, anybody can do it if they have good movements. Think like a robot, move like a robot.
You are just a phenomenal teacher. I couldn't even, and I know you've been doing this for so many years.
The thing that I do is keep their attention, you know, and you don't do that. You try not to be boring. Let's talk about something that makes sense. But the people are there because they want to learn anyway. My crowds used to be 100 people, was average. My biggest crowd was 400 people. Normally I can talk to 150 people without a mic. I don't need it. But when I get up over 200, 250, then I like to have a mic, because how much projecting can you do before you lose your voice? A lot of interest in me back in those days, because nobody was sharing that information. That's my claim to fame, I think, is that I shared the knowledge.
And then House of Kolor got big. Not cute big, big enough that the city basically looked at Kos and told him, absolutely not.
It would have been probably the early 80s, because when I came out with the urethanes in the fall of 82, this company was growing 50% every year. I mean, it was impossible to pay my bills. You know, it was growing so fast that the last year I was doing 4 million when I sold to Godfather, because the city shut me down. They said I had enough flammable liquid to burn the neighborhood. I was licensed for 500 gallons, and when they came through, I had 6,000 gallons on site. You know, you look back on it and you wish you'd have fought them, because I probably should have at the time, but they were going to fine me 10 grand a month for being out of compliance. I didn't know there was a compliance. And
then he told me something I wasn't expecting. Not about paint, not about business, about trust.
I've been burned by people that you trusted, you know. In fact, my best friend of 17 years caught him stealing from me.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I never talked to him again, and found out just recently, I thought, you know what? I want to call him up and have lunch with him. So I found out how to get a hold of him, and he had died 6 months before. So I never ever got the chance to get back with him.
At this point, I stopped asking questions as an interviewer. I asked as me, a single mom, a woman trying to build something in a world where people love telling you what you can't do. And of course, why you'll never make it.
You know where you want to be and how to get there. There's a lot of people that'll try to deter you and tell you you're nuts, you can't do this, you can't do that. You don't really have that many true friends that you can count on. I remember when I started, I went to people that I really respected, and they were winning awards with their painting, and I asked advice. They did anything they could to make you fail. A lot of it has to come from yourself. You have to be a believer and just fight and not listen to the deterrence that happens with others. And that's so common for people to say, you're never gonna be able to do, you can't do that. Well, yeah, if you have enough desire, it's amazing what you can do. Nothing's easy. Like, I've worked my whole life. In order to build a company, for 17 years, I worked a 12 to 14 hour day.
I can relate. I don't even have a spouse or a boyfriend to help with some of the load.
No, it's a big load. Well, trying to make it go, you know, feed the kids and pay the rent and all that. Yeah, you got it. It's tough. It's tough. I don't think there's a time that any of it gets easy. I mean, you have to, unfortunately, keep yourself to the grindstone.
After all that history, I had to show him the tanks that Ruben and I painted, because imagine showing your beginner paint project to the man who basically helped invent the language of custom color. Totally normal, not terrifying at all. Ruben taught me how to paint.
That's a new flake I gave him.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I like it.
It turned out awesome.
That's over black, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we like that flake. It's beautiful stuff.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, over white is nice.
Isn't that cool?
Open that door and take them out in the sunshine, both of them. That's alive, man.
Isn't that
That
cool?
looks like a heavy flake, doesn't it? And it's really not, it's a 6. That is beautiful though.
That's my little mini wannabe motorcycle.
Looks like a whizzer gas tank.
It is.
Now a little pinstriping on there would set it off just right, wouldn't it?
We're going to have to call up Ryan Evans. She's small, she's sparkly, and I think it's time to give Ryan Evans a quick little phone call to see if he'll do me a solid and get some of that pinstriping out of the way.
He's such a sweetheart.
I just love him so much.
Yeah, no, me too.
And it was really super cool to know that he learned from the best, from like the Godfather of the custom paint world.
I've never heard that term before.
Yes, that's what it is. It's accept that.
I think the teaching part is going to be my legacy. Everybody's coming after us now trying to copy what we're doing. I was the first company to do the encapsulation on the platelets, to get them so they oriented and stayed. I came out with the first really good candies to use. I think the other thing was the first urethane in candy system. That was a big deal. How lucky was I? I went to a paint show in Washington, D.C., and there was a guy there that had a little candied tricycle on the floor, and I said, "What's that all about?" He said, "Well, we developed the system for encapsulating the polymers." I said, "Oh, I'm really interested." He said, "It's funny, I've been at this show for a whole day. You're the only one that showed any interest." And he said, "I've got the paperwork on it, one set. I'm going to give them to you, and here's my number. Call me."
No way.
How lucky was that?
That's amazing.
How lucky was that?
After everything he told me, the basement, the fumes, the colors, the betrayal, the city, the pressure, the teaching, this is the line that I kept coming back to.
You never get tired of making something beautiful.
How does it feel to be right about something for 70 years?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, nobody's 100%. There is no 100%. I guess if you're 51%, you're on the top of it. So I can't say I've never made mistakes. I still make a lot of mistakes. It happens, I call it the ball game of life. If you make the same mistake 3 times, you just struck out, because you're not letting yourself know, hey, that's a mistake. I need to mark that in my gray matter so that I don't come back and do that again. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of learning from your mistakes, because we all do it. We all make mistakes, and if you can learn from them, it's the right thing. You're going to get better and better and better. So I can't say I've never made them, and I continue to make them, because it's human to err.